I'm CT Talib, and we are now in our lesson 2, the elements or components of curriculum. So, curriculum has an important role in the educational system. It is somehow a blueprint which leads to teacher and a learner to reach the desired objectives as a result, or it is how to design it such a way that it could lead the teacher and the learner to meet the desired learning outcomes. So, what are the elements or components of the curriculum? So, the four major elements are aims, goals, and objectives, subject matter or content, learning experiences, and evaluation approaches. So these four components of the curriculum are very essential. So if we are going to translate the four components into questions, it can be addressed by the following questions. So for the number one, what is to be done? For the second one, what subject matter is to be included? And for the third one, what are the instructional strategies, resources, and activities will be employed? And for the last one, what methods and instrument will be used to assess the result of the curriculum? So, let us first tackle the component 1, the curriculum aims, goals, and objectives. So, as you all know, a formal curriculum is embedded in a formal institution called school. So, what are these schools, or what do you mean by school? So, schools are established institutions which are either run by the government or a private sector. So, based on the Philippine Constitution of 1987, all associate shall aim to inculcate patriotism and nationalism. Number two, foster love of humanity. Number three, promote respect for human rights. Number four, appreciate the role of national heroes in the historical development of the country. So, number five, teach the right and duties of citizenship. The number six, strengthen ethical and spiritual values. Number seven, develop moral character and personal discipline. And number eight, encourage critical and creative thinking. And the last one, broaden scientific and technological knowledge and promote vocational efficiency. So there are three aims, no? The aims of elementary education, secondary, and the tertiary education. That is based on the Education Act of 1982. So first, we're gonna start with the aims of elementary education. So in the elementary level, schools through their curricula should aim to number one, provide knowledge and develop skills, attitudes, values, essential to personal development and necessary for living in and contributing to a developing in changing society. Number two, provide learning experiences which increase a child's awareness of and responsiveness to the changes in the society. Number three, promote and intensify knowledge, identification with, and love for the nation and the people to which he belongs. And last one, promote work experiences which develop orientation to the world of work and prepare the learner to engage in honest and gainful work. So, aims of secondary education. Again, that is based on the Education Act of 1982. So in high school or secondary level, educational curricula aim to continue to promote the objectives of elementary education and discover and enhance the different aptitudes and interests of students in order to equip them with skills for productive endeavor and or to prepare them for tertiary schooling. Then, the last one, aims of tertiary education. Again, that is based on the Education Act of 1982. So, the different courses should aim to provide general education programs which will promote national identity, cultural consciousness, moral integrity, and spiritual vigor. By train the nation's manpower in the skills required for national development and advance knowledge through research and applying new knowledge for improving the quality of human life and respond effectively to changing society. Okay, so the curriculum aims, goals, and objectives refers to or spell out what is to be done. So it tries to capture what goals are to be achieved, the vision, the philosophy, and the mission statement and objectives of the school. So also it clearly defines the purpose and what the curriculum is to be acted upon and try to drive to it. And then, if it is somehow concerned with outcomes expressed in different levels, that is the aims, the most general level, the goals that reflect the purpose with some outcomes in mind, and the objectives that reflect the most specific level of educational outcomes. So, based on the mandate of the Constitution, each school therefore should be guided by its vision, mission, goals, and objectives. So, what are these vision, mission, goals, and objectives? So, let us first start with the vision. So, vision, it provides a clear concept for the future. No? So, from the word itself, vision. It is what the institution would like to become in the future, of course. And also, it provides a focal point or a unifying element according to which the school staff, the faculty, and the students perform either individually or collectively. And also, it is the guiding post around which all educational efforts, including curricula, should be directed. And the school's vision can be very ambitious, but it is a characteristic of the vision. Next one, the mission. So it spells out how it intends to carry the vision. It also targets to produce the kind of person the students will become after having been educated over a straitened period of time. So, the school's vision and mission are further translated as goals. So, what is goals? So, goals are broad statements or intents to be accomplished. And the data for sources of school goals may be or may include the learner, the society, or the stakeholders. So, in a curriculum, these goals are made specific or simple for the attainment of every learner. That is what we call as educational objectives. So, Benjamin Bloom and Robert Major define educational objectives in two ways. Number one, explicit formulation of the ways in which students are expected to be changed by the educative process. And The second one, intent communicated by statement describing a proposed change in learners. So, in other words, objectives direct the change in behavior, which is the ultimate aim of the learning. So, uh, in a classroom setting, no, before teaching, you have to make your own lesson plan. And in that lesson plan, you have to make an objective. And along the way, that objective should be addressed, no, dun sa, dun sa pagtuturo mo. So, from the very beginning hanggang sa pagtapos mo, kailangan yung tatlong objective na yun na-attain nung bata, no? Yung tatlong objective na yun na execute or nakita mo doon sa bata, pinakita nung bata. So, they provide a basis for the selection of learning content and learning experiences. So, objectives also set the criteria against which the learning outcomes will be evaluated. So, Bloom and his associates classified the three big domains of objectives. These are the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor. So, when you are making your lesson plan, you have to give three objectives. And hindi ka lang basta-basta lang gagawa lang ng objectives dahil naisipan mo lang na ganun lang yung matututunan nila. Hindi. You have to consider these three big domains, no? Kuha ka ng tatlong objective. Yung isang objective kay cognitive, yung pangalawang objective kay affective, at yung pangatlong objective kay psychomotor. So, merong mga ibang schools na itong tatlo sa sa DepEd, ito yung ginagamit nila. Pero sa mga private schools, meron silang isang objective lang. Kasi usually yung yung cognitive na objective lang yung kailangan nila. Kasi yung affective, nandun na sa discussion. Tapos yung psychomotor, makikita naman yan doon sa along the way, makikita ng observer. Pero sa DepEd, no, medyo stricto sila. So, kailangan talaga nandoon si tatlong domains. Okay, so, i-tackle natin yung tatlong domain na yan. Okay, so we have to first start with the cognitive domain, the domain of thought process. So, thought process, so siguro medyo naintindihan mo na kung anong ibig sabihin ni cognitive domain, di ba? Okay, so number 1, knowledge. That is to recall, remembering of prior learned materials in terms of facts, concepts, theories, and principle. So, sa lesson plan, yan minsan yung sa prior knowledge at doon sa review. Yun. It is also the lowest cognitive level. Okay, number 2, comprehension. Ability to grasp the meaning of material. So, minsan meron kang mga tawag dito, simple lang na word. Tapos, na sila? Hindi, ganito. Meron minsan, may papabasa ka na story. Tapos, along the way, meron kang mga questions sa huli. Doon mo na may measure yung level ng comprehension ng bata. Minsan din, yung comprehension, before you start your discussion, you have, before also yung major na grouping nila, meron kang isang activity, minor lang. Minsan, siya, motivation sa nilalagay, no? pwede kang gumawa ng puzzle. Tapos, i-divide mo siya dun sa mga bata or hingi ka na lang ng isang batang willing na i-arrange yun siya. Tapos, kung na-arrange na yung A-page, that's the time na magtatanong ka dun sa mga bata na naman kung ano ba yung observation nila doon sa picture. Tapos, dun na, papasok na yung mga hot questions. Nagsimula ka lang doon sa isang puzzle, pero na-open mo na doon yung mind nila, no? By asking some hot questions. It indicates the lowest form of understanding. Number 3, application. The ability to use learned material in new and concrete situation. So, ito minsan si application, marami kang mga examples na binibigay. Tapos, tinetest mo kung masasagot ba. Meron din dito sa application, ngayon, ginagamit ko siya for board work. No? So, before the evaluation, meron akong application or before the generalization, meron ng application agad. Then, 4, analysis. Ability to break down material into component parts so that its organizational structure may be understood. Okay, so for the analysis, usually, itong analysis nagagamit siya doon sa science class ko. Ito. So, whenever we're doing activities sa laboratory. Then, number 5, synthesis. The ability to put parts together to form a new whole. No, so, eto pasok din siya doon sa sa science, no? At saka doon sa generalization. Kasi yung generalization hindi na yung dati na generalization lang na magtatanong ka lang na, ano ang tawag dito sa ganito, ganyan. Hindi lang yon. No, so minsan, magtatanong ka ng mga medyo mahirap-hirap na questions, no, para makuha mo si synthesis, no, para ma-put parts nila yung, together, yung mga bagong, learning or yung mga, tawag dito, yung mga own nila na opinion. Then, last one, evaluation. Ability to pass judgment based on given criteria. Okay, so before the additional activities or the assignment, no? So, meron kang evaluation. Doon mo na makikita yung mastery ng mga bata. So, DepEd, meron kaming 80% na mastery. So, kapag nakapasa ka na doon sa 80% na yan, you can now proceed to the next lesson. And if hindi sila umabot ng 80%, then you have to reteach the lesson. Okay, so the second one, the affective domain. No, that is the domain of valuing, attitude, and appreciation. So, number 1, receiving. No, the student's willingness to pay attention to particular event, stimuli, and classroom activities. Number 2, responding. Active participation in the part of the students. No, so ito yung paano nila i-receive yung yung lesson mo. Then, kaya minsan mag-start ka doon sa magandang motivation. Kasi kung maganda yung motivation mo na dapat locally tawag dito, yung locally lang siya na hindi siya yung kunwari magtuturo ka ng kung paano gumawa ng french fries. Paano kung nandun ka sa bundok, hindi nila alam paano gumawa ng french fries. So, ano ba yung alternate ng french fries doon sa bundok? So, meron, di ba, alam nila yung kamote. So, yung kamote, pwede na, yun na lang yung gamitin mong example. Kasi, makakarelate naman sila doon. Sasabihin mo lang na yung french fries, pwede din na gamitin, pwede kang gumawa ng ganon using kamote, at saka ituturo mo yung mga instructions. So, kahit hindi sila nakapunta ng city, at least naiintindihan nila, meron na silang idea kung ano yung tinatawag na french fries. So, kung ginamit mo is yung example na alam na nila, siguro naman makukuha mo yung responding kasi magre-respond at magre-respond talaga sila. The same with the Lake Lanao. Kung sabihin mo, sinong yung Lake Lanao, ganyan-ganyan. Hindi nila yan alam kasi minsan may mga bata na hindi pa nakakapunta ng Marawi. No? So, ka na lang, search ka ng mga lake na present doon sa community para makarespond sila. Then, valuing. Now, concern with the worth or value a student attaches to a particular phenomena, object, or behavior. So, minsan may mga principal na ang hinahanap nila doon sa ino-observe nila is paano niya may ma-inculcate yung value. No? So, kunwari, ang topic mo is about the green environment. So, pwede naman siguro na i-insert mo yung value ng pangangalaga sa kalikasan. Kasi 'di ba, para magkaroon ka ng green environment, kailangan mong alagaan ang kalikasan. So, mayroon ka nang na-inculcate na value doon. Then, organization. Concerned with bringing together different values and building a value system. Number 5, characterization by a value or value complex. No? So, that is developing a lifestyle from a value system. Then we are now in the psychomotor domain. The domain of the use of psychomotor attributes, no? So, etong si psychomotor. Before mag-start ang lesson, meron na tayong psychomotor minsan. Kasi 'di ba, after the prayer, meron kang magtatanong ka kung meron kang assignment, kung sino ba yung present, no? Kumusta na ba yung araw nila? At the same time, tatanong mo kung gusto ba nilang kumanta or sumayaw. So, kailangan, merong mga ganun. Tapos, minsan, yung sa psychomotor domain din, kung bibigay ka ng ganun before the discussion, dapat connected siya doon sa discussion mo. Kunwari, yung synonym ang topic mo. So, meron tayong tinatawag na synonym song. So, yung synonym song, align doon sa topic mo. At the same time, parang magkakaroon na rin sila ng idea kung ano ba yung topic na pag-aaralan nyo sa araw na yon. At saka, meron din siyang mga actions, no? So, may integrate mo si MAPI doon sa psychomotor activities na yon. Then, number 1, perception. Use of sense organ to guide motor activities. Then, number 2, set. Refers to the readiness to take a particular type of action. Then, guided response. Concerned with the early stages in learning complex skills, imitation and trial and error are some of the ways of doing. Itong guided response, minsan meron kong mga tinatanong na obvious na. No? Kunwari, mayroon akong sa matching type, no, sa board. Meron akong activities na matching type. Minsan, pag sinabi mong dagat dito sa column A, tapos sa column B, yung picture ng dagat, ima-match nila yon. So, tatanong ka dun sa mga bata kung sino yung willing na mag-match. Minsan talaga, hindi mo maiiwasan. Merong bata na tawag dito, hindi niya nakukuha yung answer. And sa ganung pagkakataon, don't discourage the child, no? Sabihin mo na lang na ano, very good, ganon. Tapos sabihin mo na lang na oh, sino ulit yung sasagot? So parang hindi mo siya directly na sasabihin na mali siya. That's the time na maiisip din ng ibang mga bata na hindi pala yun yung sagot. Oh, baka ito yung sagot. So, ganun yung guided response. Then, mechanism. Responses have become habitual. Performance skills are with ease and confidence. Ito yung mechanism. Minsan, araw-araw meron tayong tawag dito, performance skills, no? So, everyday, habitual na siya. So, everyday, meron tayong mga groupings, tapos, iba-iba yung mga ka-group nila. So, everyday na din, kung palagi mo yung ginagawa, yung bata, ano na siya, hindi na siya mahihiya na makihalubilo dun sa mga kasama niya. So, pwede rin na before kayo mag-group activity, sabihin mo yung standards. Tapos, include mo dun sa standard na kung ano yung naiisip mo, sabihin mo dun sa mga kasama mo. So, kung araw-araw ginagawa mo yun, mabibuild mo na yung confidence niya na gawin yung isang bagay na yun. So, number 5, complex overt responses, no? So, the skillful performance and with complex movement patterns. Sa PE, meron ako neto dun sa dun sa namin sa dance. Meron dito sa complex overt responses. No, so meron talagang mga bata na magaling talaga dun sa performance na yon. Tapos, nakakagawa din siya ng mga complex na movement patterns. Kasi minsan, meron akong activities na may maririnig sila na beat na beat lang siya, tapos sasayaw lang sila ayon doon sa beat, no? So, they are free to choose kung ano yung mga movement na gagawin nila based on doon sa naririnig nila na beat. So, dito makikita mo na yung mga bata na kung na skillful talaga doon sa ginagawa nila. Then, number 6, adaptation. Skill well developed that the ability to modify is very easy, no? So, number 7, origination. Refers to creating new movement patterns to fit the situation. So, creativity is evident. So, dito sa origination, nagawa ko na to minsan. Yung sa grouping nila. Minsan ito yung sa group 4, group 3, dun to na na belong, no? Na kung ano yung gusto nilang iparating na message, gagawa sila ng movement, no? So, hindi sila magsasalita, movement lang na para maiparating nila yung message nila doon sa mga classmates nila. So, doon mag-iisip na sila ng mga creative na movements, no? To express yung sagot nila. So, for the component 2, the curriculum content or subject matter, so all curricula have content regardless of their design and regardless of their models. So, content is simply more than information to be learned in school. So, content also is another term of knowledge. So, It is an element or a medium through which the objectives are accomplished. So some criteria which can be used in the selection of subject matter content or knowledge of the curricula are: number one, self-sufficiency. Okay, so self-sufficiency is the prime guiding principle for content selection. Um, is helping the learner attain self-sufficiency in learning in the most economical manner. So, economy means less teaching effort and educational resources, less learners' effort, but more results and effective learning outcomes. So, number two, significance. No, so the content or the subject matter is significant if it will contribute to basic ideas, concepts, principles, and generalizations to achieve the overall aim of the curriculum. Then, uh, the significance also will develop the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor skill of the learners. Number three, the validity. The validity is the authenticity of the subject matter. The subject matter should be checked or verified at regular intervals to determine if the content that was originally valid continues to be. Number four is the interest. No? Say, uh, interest is the key criterion for a learner-centered curriculum. So, a learner will value the content if it is meaningful to him or her. So, the student's interest should be adjusted, taking into consideration the maturity, the prior experiences, the educational and social value of the interest, among others. Then, number five is the utility. Utility is the usefulness of the content or subject matter may be relative to the learner who is going to use it. So the usefulness may be either be for the present or for the future. Number six, the learnability. So the subject matter in the curriculum should be within the range of the experiences of the learners. And the last one, the feasibility. What is feasibility? So the content feasibility is the content selection that should be considered within the context of the existing reality in schools and the society or in the government. Okay, so other considerations that may be used in the selection of the learning content are: A. Frequently and commonly used in daily life. Then, suited to the maturity levels and abilities of students. Valuable in meeting the needs and competencies of a future career. Related with other subject areas. Important in transferring of learning. So, in organizing the learning contents, the following form is sound content. The balance. Now, what is balance? So, in organizing your content, it should be fairly distributed among the learning area or discipline. So, this is to ensure that the level or area will not be overcrowded or less crowded so that it will have its equilibrium in the curriculum. Then, there is the articulation. So it means that each level of the subject matter is mostly connected to the next. Glaring gaps and wasteful overlaps in a subject matter will be avoided. The sequence, no? So it is the logical arrangement of the subject matter, just like English 1. You should take that prior to English 2 and so on. So there is a chronological arrangement that follows its level of difficulty. So in college, we have this prerequisite, no? So ano yung prerequisite na yon? So yung prerequisite, you can take this uh, subject, a certain subject, kung hindi mo pa natatapos yung mga subjects na prerequisite niya. So, kung sa classroom setting naman, sa school, um, kinder ka muna, after familiarization, pag promoted ka na, then meron ka na, pwede ka na mag-enroll sa grade 1. Then, kapag promoted ka na naman sa grade 1, napasa mo na yung mga competencies nila, then that's the time na papasok ka na naman sa grade 2. Then, yun sa grade 1, meron siyang mga learning areas which is suited doon sa level na pang grade 1. So, kung si grade 1 merong English 1, tapos, nung promoted na yung bata, na-enroll na sa grade 2, meron na naman siyang matitik doon na English 2. Kasi, hindi pwede na mag-jump ka doon sa English 2 na hindi mo pa na papasa si English 1. Kasi, ang mangyayari, hindi mo masasagutan or hindi mo maiintindihan yung English 2 na yon kasi from the very start, hindi mo pa nasisimulan si English 1. So, ang nangyayari kasi sa DepEd is spiral yung learning. No? So, para siyang hagdan na before ka umabot doon sa another step, kailangan mo munang tapusin yung isang step na yun. Kasi habang lume-level up yung step mo, yung difficulty din is nagle-level up din. Integration. It is the horizontal connection that are needed in subject areas that are similar to the learning and will relate them to one another. So, in the classroom, sometimes there are portions of the other subjects that can be discussed. Itong integration na to, pag gagawa ka ng lesson plan, itong si integration, kailangan talaga to. Kasi this is the time na malalaman ng observer kung talagang pinag-aralan mo yung lesson na yon. Kunwari, meron akong topic no, na about synonym na naman. Synonym. So, bago ako mag-start, meron kaming kanta na may action. So, doon na yon, doon sa pagkanta nila, nandun na yung integration ni MAPE. No? Si music at saka si PE. No? Tapos, nung sa grouping, pinalabas ko sila, pinahanap ko sila ng mga bagay-bagay na pwedeng connected na aligned doon sa synonym na yon. So, doon sa pagpunta nila sa playground, na-integrate ko na naman doon si science kasi na-observe nila yung environment. Tapos, nung pagpasok na nila, nagtanong-tanong ako, ano yung mga na-observe nila doon sa playground. Kapag nasagot na nila yung, yung environment is malinis, yung environment, maraming bulaklak. So, pwede ko nang i-integrate doon si ESP. Pwede nang pumasok doon si ESP. Kasi, sabihin mo lang na bawat bata ay kailangan pangalagaan ang kanilang kapaligiran, no? Hindi magtatapon ng basura, no? Kasi, ang batang malinis ay mahal ng Diyos, no? So, pwede yon. And And also, you can also integrate many, marami pang lesson at saka values doon sa ah, tinuturo mo. O continuity. So, the learning requires a continuous application of new knowledge, skills, attitudes, or values so that it will be used in daily living. So, it is also a constant repetition, review, and reinforcement of learning. No? Kaya nga minsan kailangan natin turuan yung mga bata, hindi lang ng doon lang nila mali-learn doon sa bahay. Hindi lang nila ma-execute yung learning na yon sa hindi lang sa school na i-execute ang learning na yon. So kailangan yung tinuro mo magagamit din nila sa labas ng eskwelahan, sa bahay or sa community. So let us all uh, understand that learning will not stop at one point. It will continue from this point to another. So, also in organizing the contents of the curriculum, you should also consider the following. No? So, you should consider the learners, you should consider the teachers who will handle the subject and the learner as a prime mover. And also, you should consider the situation. So, you will have all of that consideration when you do the needs analysis. So, after you do the needs analysis, you will know then what are the needs. No? So, what are the lacking or the lacking elements of the content and what the student, pupil, or learner wants. And the necessities or what are the necessary things or materials that needed to be included. Ito sa needs analysis, along the way, kasi kung everyday, nakikita mo yung mga bata, everyday, meron kang mga activities, meron kang board work, meron kang evaluation, so, malalaman mo along the way kung ano yung mga kailangan nila, ano yung mga lacking doon sa tinuturo mo. Minsan, naboboard yung mga bata, inaantok. So, hindi mo siya ma-solve. Everyday na lang, ganun yung nangyayari. So, siguro, when you do the needs analysis, malalaman mo na, siguro yung lacking ko ganito. Kasi, pansinin mo, kung dun sa English na yon nabubore sila, tapos nung MAPE na, super active sila. So, siguro kailangan dun sa English, mag-integrate ka doon ng mga MAPE na elements. Okay, so we are now in the component 3, the curriculum experience. Now, so the curriculum experience, together with the different strategies and methods, are the core of the curriculum. So, the instructional methods will put into actions the goals and use of the content in order to produce an outcome. And teaching strategies convert the written curriculum into action. So, both the teacher and the learner take actions to facilitate learning. So, in the teaching class, we do not just go to our classroom and teach and say something and blah, 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 blah. No? So, as much as possible, we should make learning as memorable as it is. No? So, our purpose why we are teaching is because we want to give our students the experience because they can forget everything in the world but give them the experience. Hindi nila makakalimutan yon. Nasa experience matters and they cannot forget the experience that they have found in you, no? Or yung experience na ano nila, na pagdaanan nila sa iyo or natutunan nila sa iyo, it will always remain vivid to their senses. No, so meron naman tayong um, siguro bawat isa sa atin meron tayong teacher na hindi makakalimutan. Bakit mo siya hindi makakalimutan? Kasi meron siyang experience na ano, meron kang unforgettable experience na napagdaanan mo dun sa kanya. Hindi literally na yung mga pangit ha. Hindi. Yung sa learning experiences na hanggang ngayon, hindi mo siya malilimutan na nag-sink in talaga doon sa utak mo. So, some of the guide for the selection and use of teaching methods for teachers' utilization and implementing the curriculum are teaching methods are means to achieve ends, no? So they are used to translate the objectives into actions. So there is no single best teaching method. So yung mga bata kasi meron tayong different learning di ba? Learning categories. So yung mga bata accepted mo na talaga na minsan may mga bata na magaling sa music. So, minsan, nagagalat siguro yung teacher dahil si bata nag-headset tapos nagdi-discuss siya. So, yung ganon, hindi mo siya dapat pagalitan kasi pwede na mas naiintindihan niya yung lesson kapag meron siyang mga background music. Hindi dahil naka-headset siya, that means, hindi na siya nakikinig. Kung nakatingin naman siya sa'yo, tapos naka-headset siya, so wala namang problema doon. Medyo lang sa part ng teacher, siguro yung pride mo na, baka hindi nakikinig tong bata na to, ganito. Parang medyo nakaka-hurt lang ng konti. Pero you have to understand that yung mga bata, iba-iba yung teaching method na dapat gawin mo sa kanila. Dapat pagalitan mo yung kung nagdi-discuss ka, tapos pagtingin mo dun sa isang bata, nag-ML, nagmo-Mobile Legend, nagpa-PUBG, talagang doon sa time na yon mapapagalitan mo talaga siya. So, meron din minsan mga bata na mas natututo sila kung meron silang partner. Meron ding may klase rin ng bata na mas gusto niya yung siya lang mag-isa. So, you have to respect that because kada bata, hindi iisa lang yung teaching method na magagamit mo. So, there is no single best teaching method. Kung ngayon sa pandemya, so hindi tayo sanay sa modular, no? Hindi tayo sanay sa digital audio with self-learning modules. So, merong mga bata na hindi nakakasagot ng matino kasi nga hindi sila hiyang doon sa teaching method na yon. So, kaya mas pinipili nila yung face-to-face. Meron din namang mga bata na medyo advanced sila, so, walang problema sa kanila yung ganong modality. Meron din namang mga bata na ayaw nga pumunta sa school, gusto naman nila blended, no? So, walang doon. There is no single best teaching method. So, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, lang, face-to-face lang. Pinakamagandang method is face-to-face lang. So, hindi. Kahit nga sa face-to-face, meron kang mga activities para ma-address mo yung pangangailangan ng mga bata para mas maka-learn sila. Hindi lang isang method yung ginagawa mo. Maski sa evaluation, hindi lang multiple choice yung ginagamit mo, di ba? Meron tayong matching type, meron tayong fill in the blanks, meron tayong enumeration, meron tayong simplification. So, ganun. Maraming paraan. No? So, there is no single best teaching method. Then, teaching method should stimulate the learner's desire to develop the cognitive, psychomotor, social, and spiritual domain of the individual. Number 4, in the choice of the teaching methods, learning styles of the student should be considered. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko, na iba-iba yung learning style ng mga bata. Then, number 5, every method should lead to the development of the learning outcomes in the 3 domains, the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor. And the last one, flexibility should be a consideration in the use of the teaching methods. So, malapit na. Nasa component 4 na tayo, no? So, the curriculum evaluation. So, all curricula, to be effective, must have the element of evaluation. So, the curriculum evaluation is an element of an effective curriculum. Yun nga, yung meaning niya. Then, this refers to the formal determination of the quality, the effectiveness, or value of the program, process, product of the curriculum. So, it is meeting the goals and matching them with the intended outcomes. So, there are different evaluation methods that can be utilized, like diagnostic, placement, formative, and summative evaluation, or the norm or criterion referenced evaluation. So, curriculum evaluation is very important to check whether our objectives in making the curriculum have been attained, or if there is a need to change what is in the existing curriculum, and what are the things that we need to retain, no? So even the things that we need to revisit in order to give this quality education and meaningful learning experiences. So, regardless of the methods and materials, evaluation will utilize a suggested plan of action for the process of curriculum evaluation is introduced with these steps. Number 1, focus on one particular component of the curriculum. Then, collect or gather the information. Dun sa number 1, yung focus on one particular component of the curriculum. Usually, sa evaluation, minsan, palaging sa cognitive, tapos may partner na formative, no? Kasi, kung sa cognitive, yung mga sa evaluation mo, merong mga multiple choices, merong matching type, ganon. Tapos, may part 2 siya na essay. Doon sa essay na yon, doon nila na-execute nila yung doon sa affective na partial, may pagka-cognitive na rin. Then, number 2, collect or gather the information. Number 3, organize the information. Analyze information. Report the information. Recycle the information for continuous feedback, modifications, and adjustments to be made. Kasi, minsan, di ba sabi ko, 80%, kung makakakuha, after the evaluation, di ba, mag-check ka, analyze mo siya. Kapag na-analyze mo siya, meron kang lalagyan doon na parang data analysis, no? Makikita mo doon kung ilang percentage ng mga bata ang nakakuha ng 80%. Kung more than 75% ng mga bata nakakuha ng 80% na mastery, pwede ka na mag-continue sa next na subject. Kung less doon, meron kang mga remedial na gagawin, or pwede mo siyang ulitin. I-reteach mo siya, or pipili ka lang doon ng mga specific na parts ng lesson na i-make up class mo lang kung hindi pwedeng i-reteach, ganon. Tapos, para malaman mo na naman kung nakuha na naman nila yung na-master na naman nila yung lesson, mag-i-evaluate ka na naman ulit. Then, another na naman, i-organize mo na naman yung information, i-analyze mo, then, gagawa ka na naman ng parang report kung saan yung sa data analysis. Then, pag nakikita mo na naman na hindi na naman siya nag-work, so, gagawa ka na naman ng ibang way para mas maintindihan ng mga bata yung lesson. Then, ganun pa rin yung process, no? So, kung hindi pa rin nila na master, so paulit-ulit magre-reteach ka na lang. Siguro dahil merong lacking na elements doon sa topic mo. Meron kasi pwede i-assess mo yung sarili mo. Pwede rin na kaya hindi nila naiintindihan kasi wala sa kanila yung problema. Possible nasa sa teacher yung problem. Doon siguro sa construction ng lesson plan, doon pa lang meron ng lacking na elements sa subject matter mo. So, pwede pasok dyan yung coaching and mentoring, no? Sabihin mo dun sa principal, kung meron kang master teacher, pwede rin yun kasi pwede kang mag-ask, no? So, hindi naman masama magtanong doon sa mas magaling or mas matagal na sa industriya na teacher, no? Kasi, part of learning ay ang magtanong. No? So, for the summary, we have here the 4 curriculum components, the interrelationship of the components and the curriculum. No? So, at the top portion, you can see the aims or objectives. No? So, the aims or objectives serves as the anchor of the learning journey. Now, so after that, the content or subject matter that serves as the meat of the educational journey. Then after that, the learning experience that serves as the hands-on experimentation to the real spectrum of learning. Then the last one, the evaluation that serves as the barometer as to how far had learners understood the educational journey. So, maybe that's all. Thank you for listening.